Hi, dear friend. I am so glad to be here with you again. This video is the fifth video of this playlist named Spiritual Awakening with Love. As you know, the first 5 videos are to watch in order, which means that after this one, you may just follow your heart and interest to decide which video of this playlist you want to watch next. My name is Love and you're watching the best YouTube channel, I Am Love, Say It Too. I'd like to take a moment to summarize with you what we've seen in the 4 previous videos of this playlist. You are a human and conscious being. What is awakening? Awakening is the discovery of the existence of your conscious being. To discover your conscious being, you must move away from your point of view as a human being to adopt the point of view of your conscious being. You can adopt the point of view of your conscious being when you free yourself from suffering, which is caused by your filters or ego. Eventually, freeing yourself from your filters will lead you to experience awakening. In the previous videos, I explained using examples how each of the categories of filters causes us suffering. In this video, I want to explain what it means to free yourself from your filters by taking again each of the categories one by one. Please feel free to take notes about these 5 videos, the previous 4 and this one, as this information is the key that opens the door to awakening. Here is the resolution to apply to each category of filters. The important thing is not to take my words for it, but to be open enough to go and check for yourself. The ego's first reaction is often to deny anything it hears that does not correspond to the image it is trying to keep intact by all means. It is important to be aware of your initial reactions to then be able to surpass them, because otherwise you will simply miss out. For example, if I point to you and say, "Look, this white is beautiful," but that you do not even bother to raise your head to look where I'm pointing to, because obviously everyone knows that the sky is blue, not white. You will never see this beautiful bright white cloud that I just pointed. The ego keeps you anchored in your old beliefs and also in your suffering. It's only when you are aware of your automatic reactions or your conditioning that you can finally choose to get out of it. Being convinced that the sky is blue, it's not going to make you suffer. But if you stay in your beliefs that you have no choice but to keep your job that you hate, this leads you to suffering. Now let's review the filters. Your sorrows. It is, in fact, the set of filters that you must be aware of. You have to agree to look at what makes you suffer so you can then choose to free yourself from it. Your fears, it is essential to get rid of them because they are totally useless to you. One might think that fears are what allow us to ensure our survival. It is not our fears that can save our lives. Fears should not be confused with caution, vigilance, and knowledge. Your fears never bring you anything but suffering. First, your fears deprive you from living experiences. Then, fear makes you feel bad when you feel it. If you are afraid of abandonment, the solution is to consciously try to trust someone again, without letting your thoughts of fear taking over. You have to realize that even if there's always a risk that a person will leave, this is not a reason to deprive yourself of sharing good times with them. Perhaps I will look at my current expectations And then also at the disappointments I have experienced in the past and which today make me as sensitive to rejection. I have to realize all the suffering that this fear causes to me. If I protect myself from everything, then I will also prevent me from living anything. When I say I'm afraid of drowning because I can't swim, I can also see that I can't swim because I am afraid. Being paralyzed by fear certainly doesn't help me to swim well, even less to make it easy to swim. Stress will only prevent me from breathing well, from concentrating well. And finally, stress will also even prevent me from having this wise mind thinking. So, the resolution is to understand that your fears do not bring you anything. Then you choose to remove them, driven by the love you want to give to yourself. By doing so, you regain power over your life and your well-being. Your past experiences that you still consider negative, you must identify them, then deepen your knowledge about them with some insight to understand their effects on your present life. To help you understand the lesson to be learned from a past experience, you may ask yourself, where in the process did I lack love for myself? All past experiences that you still consider negative come from a lack of love for yourself. You may blame someone else because you refuse to see that you have lacked love for yourself. If you learn the lessons to learn from a past experience, this experience is no longer negative, since it will provide you with the tools that will allow you to never suffer from this type of experience again. If you remain attentive next time, if there is to be a next time, you will make the choice to offer yourself true love the minute you'll remember that lesson. Negative past experiences are heavy to bear and they greatly affect our judgment. When you allow yourself to look at them with love and honesty, the negative aspects disappear and the experience becomes lighter by itself. I would like to give you an example of a resolution. My ex took advantage of me financially for years. I always knew he was lying to me, but I knew he didn't have too much money, so I was happy to share with him. Except that when he had money, I never got to see the color of it. How heartless he could be. In addition, I gave him money all these years and he didn't even seem to be grateful when we ended our relationship. He took me out of his life just when I got penniless. But I learned my lesson well and now I am wary of profiteers. Let's take a closer look to the situation. Did I really understand the right lesson? Is the solution to become more suspicious of others? In this story, the only person I should have been wary of is me. If I always knew that he was lying to me and found out he did not even share at the time when he had money, then I acted with full knowledge of the facts. The question is, why have I inflicted this on myself all these years? My ex didn't even hide his game. I knew that from my point of view it was not equal, but I accepted that. And there is the lack of love for me. I know how to recognize a profiteer, and I already knew at the time. So I don't have to become more suspicious of others. Distrust brings suffering. I have to keep digging and figuring out what I was gaining from my actions. Why was I staying? And why did I keep giving him money? Was I really giving? If I blame him for his lack of recognition today? What was I buying or trying to buy with my money? Love? Recognition? Company? If I have made myself live this misery, it is because I have lacked love for myself. My lack of self-esteem made me believe that I was no better than that. I spent all this time depriving myself of the opportunity to meet a respectful and loving man. In the future, I have to offer myself more love. I must no longer accept to disrespect myself for lack of confidence and self-esteem. This is a reliable solution when I want to achieve happiness, not to become more suspicious. I was the one who let this type of man stay into my life, and maybe it was even me who established this type of relationship between us. If I always insist to pay, then I cannot blame the other person for letting me do so. I will have to dig a little deeper to understand why I acted like this. What is the mechanism that led to this situation? Do I experience other situations in other areas of my life? What is my friend's opinion on the subject? Are they right in my opinion? If I stop at the easy conclusion that my ex is a profiteer and that I have to be wary of profiteers in the future, it is equivalent to saying that I have no responsibility for what happened, but above all, that I have no power to change anything about it. There is no chance that increasing my level of distrust will bring me happiness. I won't trust men anymore, and I'll be alone until the arrival of the next profiteer. Life experiences repeat themselves until lesson is learned. In conclusion, if I have come out of this relationship and I understood that I have to offer myself more love and make better choices for myself in the future, I should be happy that I have already been there and know how to avoid this type of suffering now on. I can celebrate for choosing my happiness. The greatest pride I will have it when I will refuse to enter into a visibly unhealthy relationship, or when I will be sharing my life with a man in a healthy relationship. As I mentioned in the last video, your past positive experiences create expectations that a pleasant situation will happen again. For example, your kind neighbor always helps you to complete some work on your house. One morning, you call him and tell him that your toilet has split in half and all the water has spilled on the floor. He often told you that you need to install a shut-off valve for your toilet, but you still haven't done so, and because of the way your system is designed, you had to turn off your house's water inlet completely. You are so used to him helping you that you are sure that he will do it again this time, and in all your complaining, you forget to ask him nicely. Instead, you ask him at what time he'll be there. He then feels offended that you take his help for granted and refuses to help you this time, kindly. He still gives you some advice and hangs up. You find yourself alone and without resources in front of a toilet that needs to be changed and without water. You are desperate and so angry that your heartless neighbor have let you down when you need it most. Then you start crying. You pass your rage by attributing all the faults in the world to your neighbor. You even call your friend to tell him how your neighbor, whom you thought was nice, is so heartless. What could be so important for him to do? He has no life and never leaves his house and blah 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 blah. There is very little chance that you will recognize, especially today, that you should not have taken his help for granted. There is also very little chance that you will tell yourself how nice your neighbor is to you to constantly offer you his time without counting. And yet, he is. But you fix all your attention on this one refusal. Once your rage has finally passed and you have put yourself into solution mode, your brother, of whom you've always thought and said that he was heartless, calls you. and he kindly offers you to come over and help you. Your positive past experiences can create expectations and disappointments. Your expectations create disappointments. All your disappointments come from the fact that you had expectations. Stop creating expectations and you will be much more happier. As often as possible, and especially when things go wrong, being aware of your state of mind, how you feel, is essential. If you are aware of this, you may choose to feel better. Feeling bad or mad is never helpful. Not to mention that others, consciously or unconsciously, will also feel your energy, and often they will react to it. Moving, everyone knows it's stressful, right? When I move, I always try to keep smiling throughout the day, no matter what happens, whether I am with my friends or with professionals. My friends will keep good memories of the time they helped me. Next time, they will be much more willing to come and help me again because they will remember the good times they had last time they helped me and not a grueling and unpleasant moment. Professionals, on the other hand, we can imagine they encounter difficult days almost every day. So I help to bring them sunshine and a pleasant moment in their hard work. With luck, they will even offer me extras and will try to make my life easier in return. Initially, I am not happy and smiling when I move in order for my friends to come back next time or to receive extras from the movers, but simply because I want to find my moving day pleasant. When we release positive energy as a bonus, we also receive a more positive energy. Try it and enjoy your movers who simply won't believe the amazing day they've had in your company. Obviously, this doesn't just apply when moving. This applies when you have a flat tire on the highway, when the waiter doesn't bring you what you ordered at the restaurant, and even when your child is sick or on your wedding day. It applies to all the stressful events you encounter in your life. Keep smiling! You need to ask yourself about your beliefs by asking yourself, what are my beliefs? You have so much more beliefs than you think. I talked about this in the previous video, but I'll offer you some other examples quickly so that you can better see the extent of our human beliefs. I believe I am tall, small, beautiful, independent, a good person, the best, smart, or not smart enough. And I could go on like this until next week. I believe that God exists, that the sky is blue, that my boss is despicable. I believe that one has to dress well, that one has to be thin. I believe that we must respect others, help others, be a good person. I believe that wars shouldn't exist, that people are good or that people are bad. I believe that you have to eat 3 meals a day, that you have to turn off the light when you're not using it, that my boyfriend is lazy, that he's good at manual work but incompetent with computers, that my children should be happy because I provide them with everything they need. I believe that wood is more beautiful than brick or stone. I believe that I am lucky. I believe that I am unlucky. That nothing is more important than being on time. I believe that the planet is warming. That politicians are not doing enough. That my neighbor is a dangerous man or a helpful man. I believe that my father doesn't love me and that my mother is the world's best mother. I believe that we must help others, except for my neighbor who doesn't deserve any help because she is a bad person. And I could go on like this until next year. Any belief can, I say can, make us suffer, as soon as life proves our beliefs to be wrong. You will never be able to make a list of all your beliefs, but you can try to be aware of it when a thought comes from a belief. And then you can also be aware that you can change all your beliefs, especially when they make you suffer. I am not good enough can lead me to want to improve. I am not good enough can cause me not to even try. I am not good enough can lead me to never be satisfied and to want to do more and more and more to the point of making me sick sometimes. Beliefs belong exclusively to our human being. Our conscious being has no belief, since he knows that everything exists. I will come back to beliefs in future videos because they hold a fundamental place in our lives. For now, here's the resolution of the beliefs once a good part of your list is made. Knowing how to choose them well leads to happiness. Removing them leads to awakening. Your thoughts, you need to stay mindful to them. You have to transform them into positive thoughts when they aren't. The goal for the resolution of your thoughts is to make sure that they are filled with love continuously as much as possible toward you and toward others. As with your beliefs, your ego is particular. That's why I'll explain further how it works in future videos. The general resolution of the ego filters is first to take the time to fully understand the concept, which is, by the way, quite complex. If I try to describe it quickly, I would say that the ego protects me from what I don't want to know. For example, when I lie to myself and I do not want to see it. When lacking love for myself, ego tries to hide it from me. Any selective judgments made to have a better opinion of me come from my ego. Look, he takes himself for another, for example, because he's rich. It's his ego I'm talking about. But it also may be my own ego that speaks. For the resolution of your ego, you must perceive it. To get there, you must want to see it. You can try to see the actions of your ego in your past experiences, which is easier, and then you will be able to see it act and react in the present moment. The ego is not only bad, it is useful in the experience of awakening, but the first step is to free yourself from the automatic or sleepy reactions of your ego. When you are able to perceive it, you then can use it to travel into consciousness consciously, which is an amazing experience. We will get to it in future videos. Finally, you need to be aware of the way you perceive yourself to understand how your perception of yourself influences your life. Resolution is about offering yourself love and acting in a way that makes you proud of who you are. The way you perceive yourself will change the way you receive what others tell you. Choosing to be the person you want to be allows you to have a good self-esteem. Your filters cause you suffering and prevent you from really knowing yourself. You are a being of love, and as long as this is not what you see, it means that you still have filters to work on. I invite you to make a list of your own filters of suffering. I hope you understand the importance of questing after your true self. Feel free to watch or rewatch the previous 4 videos to help you. This is the end of the 5 videos that you need to watch in the chronological order. Feel free to watch the next videos according to your interests. If you have any questions about these steps, or if you encounter issues with filters, do not hesitate to ask your questions in the comments section just at the bottom, and I will answer them in the next videos. If you can read French and you want to buy my first book titled Notre Vie Parfaite, you can get more information and order it by emailing us at iamlove@mail.com. There you go. And also I wrote a book about autism that contains tons of information to more easily deal with autism and, even more importantly, to understand what autism is. There you go. So you can email us to order that book. I believe my books will soon be translated in multiple languages, but they are in French for now. Finally, please don't forget to click on the thumb up to let YouTube know if you like my videos. Thank you very much.